Wait for
Well,
it.
you went and made it
Wait
weird.
for it. You went and made it weird. Hey, all you crazy sci-fi and fantasy fans. It's time for your daily dose of shenanigans over here at the Blasters and Blades podcast. Just a couple of nerdy veterans, a stabby chaos coordinator, and one chief shenanigator, geeking out over our science fiction passions and fantastical fantasies. A place where magic is king, the sky is the limit, and space is the place. We are the podcast that puts the fun in dysfunction. And tonight, that's Nick's job. So without further ado, we're going to introduce ourselves in case this is your first time listening or we just haven't done that in a while. So first, we're going to start ladies first and sort of alphabetical-ish order. And Jana, can you tell us who you are?
Oh, I have to go first? Heavens. I'm Jenna S. Brown. I write under the pen name Jenna Ray, where I put science fiction, fantasy, urban fantasy, and other weird and wonderful things, often with smoochies. I have lots of other pen names, some of which get talked about on this show and some of which don't, some of which are super secret, and we're not going to talk about that either, JR. Just don't do it. And I am happy to be here. I've been a co-host for about 6 months, and before that, I was just a frequent flyer. And then I got dragged in, not exactly kicking and screaming, to join the hosting crew. I'm very excited about it.
Mostly
Some of
because
my favorite people.
the federal government didn't give Nick any extra time off. They put him to work and made him earn his money. Rude. So is there any truth to the rumor that one of your pen names writes dinosaur romance novels?
I can neither confirm nor deny nothing.
All right. Stabby, would you like to introduce yourself to our listeners and viewers at home?
Okay, hello. My name is Madam Stabby Stab, but everybody calls me Stabby. I am the chaos coordinator. I've been doing this for a few years now, trying to keep everybody, in line. It never works. It never works. I don't coordinate nothing because they just do whatever they want. I'm married to Ranger Nick over there. And so you'll see us wandering into each other's computers from time to time. I am currently writing my first book, which hopefully will be out this upcoming year. And yeah, that's me. I'm just the crazy dog mom, housewife. We talk about food and coffee a lot. And yeah, that's me.
All righty. I think the preferred term for a housewife is now domestic engineer.
Oh, stop that.
More professional.
I don't think they've used that since like the 60s.
I don't know. It sounded cool, all right? Just go with it. I'm trying to sound sophisticated here.
Let's go with trad wife.
Oh.
Housewife, stay-at-home mom, whatever you want to call it.
All right. Nick.
Yes, sir.
It's been a while. Government's making you earn your pay. You've been busy.
Well, I mean, it's busy out there. It's busy. 'Tis the season. We're busy. So I'm Nick, Ranger Nick on the show. I am a comic book artist. I'm also a part-time writer of the words when JR lets me. I'm also a I just lost my damn words for a second. Hold on, reboot. Beep, beep, beep. I'm the co-owner of Apogee Comics, an independent comic book company that specializes in superhero fantasy, and it's all like it's got the same vibe as like the comics from the 90s early image, so it's a lot of fun. It's like everything's a Jerry Bruckheimer film, explosions, big guns, big attitudes, big stories, and we're rocking and rolling with that, and you're going to see a lot of that from Apogee in the next year too. So that, and I like to play video games and walks on the beach.
Long walks on the beach, romantic candlelight dinners for two, or 200. How many people are in your rifle company?
Yep.
He hates the beach sand.
I mean, after 2 years in Iraq, I've had enough sand to last a lifetime. Give me a nice mountain.
Well, that and like stroke, like the sensory sensations I get now from textures on my feet and hands is like some of them just drive me up the wall. And sand's one of them. It's like, gross.
Do not walk on the beach.
Not without shoes on. Well, I'll wear shoes on the beach.
Yes, but not the old man Crocs because we have standards, dang it.
No, I bought something that are Crocs adjacent, but they're not Crocs. The Crocs I do have. I wear them around the house when I'm barbecuing and stuff like that. I have to go outside and I don't want to put shoes on.
What are Crocs adjacent? I don't know what this is.
It's it's built more like a sneaker, and they're easy to put on, and they're like Velcro. So all of a sudden, I'm 5 years old again because I have Velcro shoes, and I'll just slip my feet in, no socks, just completely barefoot, and strap them up, and off we go. But I'm not going to run in them.
They're like Croc water sock
Sneakers. I don't know. They're their own thing.
Yeah.
I guess people run in them because there's like a little reflective tag on the back, and I just laugh. I'm like, no, sir, I will not be running these. First of all, I don't run.
Okay. I actually planned on getting some Birkenstocks when I got out because they were the quintessential anti-military shoe because of the hippies and everything. And then I actually priced those suckers, and holy crap, they were not worth the hundreds of dollars
yeah.
we were wanting for.
Oh no, they got pricey super quick after they
So I got my
Birks.
generic
came
Jesus
out.
sandals.
They were like $60.
Yeah, I
They
got
were cheap.
my generic Jesus sandals instead because, I mean, I want the look without the price tag. Like,
Do you wear socks with them?
no, what kind of
Okay.
loser do you think I am?
I mean, we could talk about that the whole show, but
I mean, you know, I'm a loser, but not that kind of loser. I don't have pocket protector either. Jeez.
no, if you do, you got to wear black socks and they got to be knee highs. You got to
Oi,
sell
oi.
it. You got to sell it. That's right.
Oh,
up
if
there
I'm
with,
gonna do
like-
that, you got to wear the Urkel pants all the way up to your belly button.
Oh
your
yeah.
shirt tucked in.
Oh,
you gotta
now
wear-
we've gone someplace
short
scary.
sleeve collared shirt. Yeah. Pocket
Yeah, and
protector.
then your
Rim
glasses.
JR, introduce yourself, man.
Okay. So I am J.R. Handley. Spent way too long in Mesopotamia in desert hell. Made it home. Started writing in writing his therapy class at the Veterans Hospital. And the lady that taught the class said, you know, these are kind of good, JR. Why don't you do this professionally? And I looked at her and I'm like, no, I thought authors had to live more life. I thought, you know, I had to go out and do more. And she bopped me on the back of the head and said, you've been to 2 war zones. What more do you want? And so I started writing. I started off writing the fan kind of managed wiki page. Holy crap, Wikipedias are hard to manage. I hate them. I hate technology. I know that's weird for a sci-fi author, but I did that for Tim Taylor's Human Legion universe. And doing the universe Bible for him for that project, I started asking lots of questions about continuity issues. Some of it you can explain away with the way military procurement works, and I gave him reasons why it would work. And then other questions, he's like, why don't you just write them, JR? You know, just give me like 5 novellas. And I've never seen a short story I couldn't span into a 10-series arc. So my 5 novellas became 2 novellas, 3 short stories, and 4 novels. And I probably could have kept going, but, you know, my series had to tie back to his. And so for contractual reasons, he ended his earlier than planned. So mine ended earlier than planned. But that was the Human Legion universe, that mine's Sleeping Legion universe. And then from there, I just have written other things. I've done some ghostwriting as well, although we can't legally talk about what I've written because, you know, you sign non-disclosure agreements for all of that. Standard practice. So I've done some ghostwriting and then written other things as me. And now I'm working on more things. And that's me. So former grunt, lover of history, nerdy about all the things. And if you leave me unsupervised with other history nerds, it is not my fault.
Hours are lost to this.
We did have episodes that went hours, but luckily for you, StreamYard's jacked it up. And so you only got 2 hours of that 6-hour episode. And we would have kept going, but his wife came on the show and was like, are you going to eat? You got work in 2 hours. Because we were up all night,
the edit
literally.
button for.
I mean, we were talking about like the intricate geopolitical theory of World War I. I mean, it was riveting stuff. And I'm just saying,
Really
you know, well, you know, we won't bore you. Go listen to that Romanoff episode. I'm just saying, it was fun. All right. It's a good book, too. Casey Azell. Who else wrote that one? I'm drawing a blank on it now.
Yeah, me too. I know Casey.
Give me a second. I'm going to look that up.
Yeah. We got a catalog. You can just probably go search it. Or something.
All right. I'm looking that up. So while I look that up, so I can tell you because it's bugging me that I can't remember. So we're not going to really do any religion questions today. Instead, Jana, how was your Christmas?
Oh, so good. So good. my grandkids came to visit it. Came to visited. I'm an English major, you can tell. Came to visit, and it was amazing. And my little grandson, they're like, okay, it's time to go. And he looks at my husband. He says, "Oh, Pa, can I have a sleepover?" And he just wanted to stay, and it's like, oh, oh, just break my heart. So now we have been put in the position where we have promised them that during the summertime the grandkids can come and visit for like a whole week, and their parents can go off and be adults and do adult things, and Oma and Opa will have a summer camp, and we will have the kids here, and I won't be doing the podcast that week because I will have children here, and it will make me ever so happy. So, the family is always the best part because we've got family in for an upcoming we had family in for an upcoming wedding and all of those things. And so it was family and food and a few presents, and that's exactly what Christmas is supposed to be like. If Utah could just figure it out and get the snow back where it's supposed to be, that would also help. But it's getting better now. So it was good. I liked it. Five stars, 10 out of 10 would try again.
Nice. Before we continue, it's the Romanoff Rescue is the first book in the series by Tom Kratman, Justin Watson, who was there for the interview, and Casey Azell.
And it's a pretty cover too.
And it is. It's a lot of fun. But with that out of the way, because it would bug me if I didn't look it up. With that out of the way, Stabby, how was your Christmas? Were there any bodies that had to be hidden?
No. I was a good girl this year.
Did you end up sharing pictures of your dinosaurs?
Yes.
I did. So, what our neighborhood does is starting about a week before Christmas, there's a Santa Claus choo-choo train that goes through all the neighborhoods and shows the Christmas lights to all the kids of the community. And so this year, what I did is at the very bottom of my driveway, I set up a Christmas light paddock. And I put all of my dinosaur inflatables inside my paddock. So they're all just partying in there with their raccoon buddy, except for the dragon who's up the hill shooting fire down at them. Because,
I love it.
Stabby. But no, Christmas was good. As we all know, my son's birthday is on Christmas Day. He turned 16.
Yikes.
Can you guys believe that? He's
Time flies.
16. I'm
old.
dying. I'm dying. But he had a good Christmas. We made a prime rib and Yorkshire pudding, and we had a big old dinner. My husband spoiled me rotten this year, like absolutely rotten. You guys can probably see my camera's a little bit more clear and aimed more up because he got me a new computer. And it sits a little lower than the old one. So now you guys can see all the helmets. But spoiled rotten, absolutely. But we had a good time. The dogs got new toys and treats. And when you spill 20 tennis balls out of a box for 4 dogs, mayhem ensues. And I'm absolutely here for it.
Nice. Nick, you get to top that without sharing the same story. I know it's hard when you're in the same house for the same holiday.
It is. No, what she failed to tell you is that I got her new Pew Pew in Tiffany blue.
Why not pink and girly?
That's what she asked for. She wanted, because she has a Tiffany necklace that I gave to her on our wedding day. And she goes, even though my necklace isn't Tiffany blue, it's from Tiffany's, and I want a gun to match that. I'm like, say no more. So,
all the cool girls are doing
colors
they're matching their guns to their necklaces. I mean, totally.
Which I just found out, Stabby, that MJ, the other MJ, Jimmy's MJ, has one just like it, but it's a Glock, not a Smith & Wesson.
As long as it's not a 6-hour, because that'll shoot you in the foot.
It could.
Just pulling it out of the holster.
Now, Christmas was good. I had to deal with months of Stabby going, "What do you want for Christmas?" Because would you get the guy that has everything? And I am my father's son. I am slowly turning my father, my grandfather. We all said the same thing. I heard him all the time growing up. I just want everybody to have a good Christmas, be happy. So, like, I don't care about presents for myself. I just want to make sure that everybody's spoiled, has a good Christmas, and has a really good fond memory of what's going on. Because we're not here forever. Unfortunately, we don't get to live forever. I did get some cool stuff. I got some more collectibles from the DC Multiverse line that I've been collecting for the last couple of years. I don't know how many variants of Batman figures I need, but apparently always one more. I got and it's something I've wanted since I was a little kid, Captain America's shield.
Nice.
Cool.
Made out of metal. So
I saw a lady that does cosplay that built herself a Sisters of the Battle Angels from Warhammer that's life size. And I saw that. I'm like, now Nick has goals because he could build a life size like AT-AT or something cool like that.
Yeah. Oh, that's another thing. I got a larger format 3D printer. His name's Henry.
Nice.
Because I named them human names. Like I have the P1S printer that I have. His name's Steve.
Mm-hmm.
And then the little one's named Brian. He's a small little one.
Is it because Steve does not get the job done?
Sometimes. I just think it's better when you yell at an animate object if you gave it a human name.
Okay.
So, like, sometimes the printer decides it just wants to go haywire and make spaghetti inside instead of print the damn thing I told it to print. And I'm like, damn it, Steve. But everybody in the house knows I'm not yelling at an actual person. I'm yelling at an inanimate object, which I think is even funnier. So we got Henry now where I'm going to make, because it's a larger format, a larger build plate. So I can print helmets, like, without separating them and gluing them together. I can just print them right up.
Nice.
And I can do...
So all you can do is like 3 or 4 parts now instead of a dozen. And so,
yeah, what I used to do is I would splice it in about 3 parts and then put little like snaps in there that connect together and I glue them. But now I don't have to do that. I can just, hit the button and then the whole damn thing will print, which is great. But I also will go back to my passion project, which I started when I first started 3D printing things, was to make a AT-AT the size of a German Shepherd.
Now, can you make that remote control?
I haven't figured out how to like put joints in it so like it does move, or hollow it out so I can put electronics in there. But I'm working on it. And then I did put an order in. It's out of stock right now. It'll probably show up sometime around summer. But Home Depot has a 1-for-1 scale R2-D2.
Nice.
That can be transitioned into a Christmas decoration with lights around them and stuff. So,
as one does.
So, everybody knows I'm a huge Star Wars fan. Got a nice little bonus from work, and I'm like, yeah, I could be responsible with this money, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna buy some dumb shit like I was an 8-year-old with a credit card.
Nice.
Nice. I got the most valuable gift around this year. You know what that was?
Silence.
Money?
People left me alone and I took a nap.
Oh, that's the best. Holiday naps? Those are the best.
Yeah, and I've been learning to bake bread, so I've been making banana bread. It's been good.
Yeah, you're going to have to send me some. We made some chicken soup that...
Wait, can you ship bread? Won't it go stale?
No. Oh, banana bread. Quick breads are a good one to ship because, again, they're by nature, they tend to hold the moisture in. So if you freeze it good, wrap it good, and send it, something less than slow boat to China, it'll totally make it.
Oh, coming from the East Coast to the West Coast, say you decided to, I don't know, ship me some banana bread, which I love. It's only going to take like 3 to 4 days. So,
yep.
It probably would be cheaper to just ship the ingredients to Stabby than it would be to mail the actual banana bread.
I don't want to eat her banana bread. I want to eat your banana bread.
Yeah, I already made him banana pudding. I already made him banana pudding for Christmas. So
I put on
you're
20
on
pounds
banana
over the
bread.
holidays.
You can't both be unmuted at the same time because we're gonna echo. But yeah, having mailed you guys the books that one of the authors we interviewed sent, I'm like, oh my god, this is crazy, the shipping costs. And then I heard what Jana was doing, sending everyone fudge this year, and I'm like, oh my god, she robbed a bank to do this.
I will neither confirm nor deny.
I'm just saying.
See, we use stamps.com, and we've been with them for so long that our prices have stayed pretty reasonable. Like, we're grandfathered into prices. They didn't go up very much. So,
and I use pirate ships. So really the most expensive place to ship stuff is the post office.
Yeah.
Almost everything you can do online is cheaper. And I have a commercial license with pirate ships, so it's not that bad.
Yeah, we do all of Apogee through stamps.com.
I saw somebody who turned a houseboat and made it look like a pirate ship. And if I had an extra $100,000 lying around, I wanted to buy it. He mounted cannons on the front and everything. His wife is making him sell it. And I'm like,
Aw.
Oh,
it had a
That's sad.
3-pound cannon on the front, like a real one.
see,
Be
no.
fun.
No, my sister came to visit last year and she saw The Office, and as you can see from just what's in our background, like there is a lot going on in our office, especially Star Wars, but our living room is just as bad. And she looked at me one day and she goes, "Sister, don't you ever worry that he spends too much money on this?" And I was like, "Come here. Come here." And I took her into the bedroom, and my bedroom is nothing but old school Universal horror stuff. And she was like, "Oh my God." I was like, "If I tell him to stop, I have to stop."
True.
Fair's fair.
All righty. So we'll get this show moving. And what about New Year's, Jana? What did you do for New Year's? Did you wait up for the ball to drop? Go to sleep early?
Now, see, whether I like it or not, I'm now an old person, and I don't like staying up until midnight anymore unless I'm playing D&D. And that was not D&D night, and so we stay up till about 10, and we toast when the East Coast does and call it good and have our little apple juice, and then we go to bed. Because that's my gift to me, is that I get to sleep during the break. Like you say, holiday naps.
Why apple juice and not sparkling apple cider?
Sometimes we do the sparkling thing too. I actually like, so there's a down where I used to live about 40 miles away. It's where my sister lives now. There's a wonderful, lovely apple orchard, and there's a company called the Red Barn, and they have this ginormous red barn, and it's where they sell all their produce, and they do locally pressed apple juice, and it is amazing. And so I go down and visit my sister at some point during the holidays and stop over there and get half gallons of apple juice, and that's what we drink because it's so very, very yummy. And I find the Martinelli's, the sparkling apple juice, it's fine, but it has nothing on Rolly's Red Barn apple juice. So I'd rather
Mhm.
drink the local stuff because it's amazing.
Yeah.
They even they make homemade donuts there, and so you can go and you can get a donut the size of your head, and then they do apple floats, and so you have the apple juice and ice cream and the giant donut, and there's all your calories forever, but totally worth it.
So worth
Totally
it.
So that's why, because I have a better option.
Okay. What about you, Stabby?
What was the question?
New Year's. What do you do for New Year's? And did you stay up late or do you go to bed, at a reasonable hour like the rest of us who are old?
Oh, usually on New Year's Eve we start setting up relatively early because what we do is what we call the giant charcuterie board, where it is the entirety of our kitchen island. And we do everything from like a honey baked ham to salamis, pepperonis, everything. We put it all over. The whole entire counter is covered in meat and cheese and things to eat with meat and cheese. Um, and then you just kind of pick at it all day long, and I don't have to cook anything. But we usually wind up taking a nap halfway through the day, so that way we can try to at least make it to New Year's, and watch the fireworks and whatnot. But we always watch. We found a horror movie called New Year's Eve, and we always watch that on New Year's Eve. And this year, when we did our Costco run, I found us a new Moscato. It's a cranberry flavored Moscato, and it was so good. It was so good at Costco of all places.
Okay. What about you, Nick?
I mean, I almost made it to midnight. I ended up falling asleep on the couch because I'm an old man and I probably drank too much. But Stabby woke me up for the ball drop. I was half asleep. I was like, "Yay!"
So can I
You
ask
know?
you guys, since you're not on the East Coast, because I've always lived on the East Coast where it was always my time zone, do they wait to air it until midnight your time, or do you guys just watch it 2 hours,
They do.
2 hours, whatever in advance?
If you're
You
gonna
can
watch on the
watch it
local
both
shows,
ways.
it's gonna be a 3 hour delay. It's almost like it's a recording.
Mhm.
Well, it is a recording because So we watched the why is his name Dick something?
Dick
So you guys
Clark.
watch it. You watch
Dick
it.
Clark.
You watch it so it times with midnight for you guys.
Right. They do a delay or they do a recording.
Depending on the channel.
Depending on the channel. If we go on YouTube, we can watch it live and then like end it at 9 o'clock.
ABC shows it live.
ABC does show it live.
Because Jana says she watches it live so she can go to sleep early.
Right. I
Yeah.
watch it East Coast time and we say, yay, it's 5 o'clock or midnight somewhere. And then we go to bed because I love my bed. My bed and I are such good friends and I don't spend nearly enough time with it most of the time. So
I really do need to get back into gaming so I have an excuse to stay up late again. Because you said you'll only stay up at midnight if you're gaming.
I stay up till midnight to play D&D. That's
They
totally a
have
thing.
a lot of the local gaming groups. It's like they either don't have anybody that participates with families or jobs, because I look at the time slots they take and I'm like, how does anybody with a life go to these things?
Mhm.
I got brought into a gaming group that my buddy who's a jarhead. He's like, hey man, you want to design this patch? And I'm like, what's this patch for? And he's like, oh, it's for this gaming group. We have a group and we all jump on stream and we play games. And I'm like, okay, that sounds awesome. He's like, well, how much do you charge? I'm like, well, I'm going to charge you this, but I also want in the group.
Reasonable.
So he goes, done. So he put me on his Discord. I got all the links and all that stuff. And I'm like, all right, cool. What game are we playing, man? So I think the next one is one of the Warhammer RPGs that they have on stream. So I'm excited about that.
Cool. Yeah, so for me, I've never really made a big deal about waiting up for New Year's. So for us, it's just another day. Never really got the wait for a ball to drop with bad jokes and corny people standing around a crowded, dirty New York City street. Like I don't see the allure. So
I like sitting out and watching on TV.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes we do something as a family, sometimes not. Most of the time, not. Most of the time, I just go to bed or I stay up and work. So that's sort of our.
So what I was trying to explain is, depending on which channel you're watching, it depends on when you see the ball drop. So if we watch ABC or Fox, we watch it drop at 9 p.m. And then if we watch it on CBS, it is the recording of it that goes through to midnight. But what I always try to do is I try to make sure that we're on YouTube for Las Vegas, because my mom is there. She's still in Vegas. So I always try to find the Vegas midnight countdown, so that way I can count down with my mom and watch the fireworks with her that come off of every hotel on the strip. So we do like the 9 o'clock New Year ball drop in New York, and then we flip it over to Vegas a couple hours later.
Cool. All right. So do you have any New Year's resolutions, Jana?
Oh, I've talked about this in another podcast, and I'm going to say the same thing. I don't believe in doing New Year's resolutions because I just end up in trouble. So I resolve not to have resolutions. I come up with business plans and a lot of goals for the business and plans and goals for the family, but it's not in a resolution format or anything like that. It's more looking and going, what are some of our hopes and dreams and what can we do about it? But I don't resolve to do anything but keep kicking until next year.
It's almost like a logical resolution. It's like, okay, I want to do X, and here's how I achieve it. Because we do the same thing here. I don't like. I mean, we're doing resolutions, but essentially we're just creating a game plan for the next year. What do we want to do? What do we want to highlight? Do we want to go on a vacation? Do we want to do this? Like how it's still a resolution, but I don't like calling it a resolution. And the same goal every year is to get in some better shape, get in some better health, that's kind of a cliche. And if I call it a resolution, I know that, hey, resolutions were meant to be broken, and then I'll quit like 3 weeks in. So
Exactly. You need a game plan, and that's kind of a different thing because it is, I resolved to do this. Well, if I don't put a how am I going to do that and all those kinds of things, then so I don't do it in the traditional way of people saying, here's my resolution list of the 5 things I'm going to do. I'm going to lose 100 pounds, I'm going to make $100,000, and I'm going to whatever. That never made sense to me because, like you say, it's so easy to fall right off that wagon.
oh
So I
yeah,
do like to look at it and say, okay, what did I accomplish in the last year? And knowing what I know about that year and about the challenges that I can see for the next year, much less the ones that I can't, what are some good things for us to look forward to? And then we kind of go from there. And that
yeah.
changes often, it gets replanned multiple times during the week because, no plan survives contact with the enemy.
Nope, it does not. And this year, hell or high water, I'm finishing the stormtrooper armor. So I can finally I can wear it once, take some pictures, and then I'll never wear it again. And it could go on a mannequin in the office right next to George and Mando.
There you go.
So I always do New Year's resolutions, but I actually try to follow them. So like obviously work on the diet, work on the health is a yearly thing, but I do like actionable. Like I've been going to the gym 4 times a week. Some weeks life happens, but I've been doing that since July. So it's not like I'm not doing my part, but I'm at you can't outrun a bad diet. So working on that is my whatever.
I mean, you could when we were younger, you could outrun a bad diet. Not anymore.
Yeah, this is true.
We're in our 40s now. So.
Yeah, I'm not 20 years old and,
Oh, I got to lose 5 pounds. I'll just reduce what I eat. I'll eat salads for a week and then you drop like 15 pounds. You're like, solid.
I'll just, sleep an extra 5 minutes and what? You lost 100 pounds? There you go. But yeah, so I'm working on getting my health in, if you want to be a writer, you got to be in worry about your health because it's a sedentary job. Same with comic book artists or narrators or, any creative job. So overall, it's just, for longevity's sake. And then I want to work on getting my
product. All jobs that we're most of the time we're sitting down. It's not good for you.
And I want to work on getting my productivity up. I've, some life issues came up, but those have been dealt with. So 2026, I'm hoping to make my year. So that is my rather boring resolution.
I got your answer for productivity. I ordered you a case of Rippets.
Did you
either get creative or die? One or the other.
Do you think they ever realized they would become the face of a war? Ribbits and Red Bull.
They were the product sponsor.
Right. When I was there, you couldn't get Ribbits. It was all Red Bull.
When I first got there, late 04 going into 05.
I was there in 03 and 04, 05, and it was all Red Bull.
Yeah, it was Red Bull. And then halfway through 05, I guess Red Bull got too expensive.
Yeah, so and then they started going to the Ribbits.
And they had this one that was called Tiger for a little while, and it had like a carrot aftertaste. It was horrible. But you drank it because it was an energy drink.
Yeah, but if you drank too much of the Red Bull, it hurt to go to the bathroom afterwards because of the heat and you were dehydrated.
Oh, yeah.
The fun thing was we would
pea color was nuclear colored.
Yeah, we would sweat so much. We used to have the joke, and we'd see who had the coolest sweat stains on our uniforms. And one guy won, and ironically, his primary job before he transitioned to the infantry was chaplain's assistant. And so most people don't realize chaplains aren't supposed to touch weapons. So they're the chaplain's aide or the chaplain's assistant. They're part bodyguard, part altar boy. So yeah, they like assistant churchy type stuff, pass the communion or whatever people do at church.
They're paladins,
right? But they also do the map reading and the gun stuff, and shoot the bad guys because the preacher's not supposed to do it. And so
paladin doesn't know how to read a map.
Right, but that's because they have to do it because the chaplain can't. Right. And so for whatever reason, this guy was National Guard and his unit got dissolved. So he got transferred. He said, well, I don't want to be a dirty, nasty cannon cocker, so I can't be artillery. So I'm going to be a grunt. I already know how to do grunt things. And so he ended up with us. And he ended up with a salt stain that I swear to God, it looked like Jesus was on his back.
Well, it makes sense because he was a chaplain's assistant and everyone knows that God loves the infantry.
Right. So it worked. That was the running joke is how do you top that? So it was one of those things, but yeah, it's you got to be careful with that Red Bull stuff. It'll mess you up if you're not careful.
But
and of course,
the best way possible.
Yeah, but Gatorade, what everyone would have, but Gatorade was, I was never a huge fan. I mean, it did its job, I guess, if you're dehydrated, but
Your only choices were like red and orange, sometimes yellow, depending on if like supply.
We only got the orange and the yellow. We never saw the red when I was there. But the red always tasted like cough syrup anyway.
It did.
I don't know if it's supposed to taste that way or we were getting the expired stuff because government contracts are government contracts.
Oh, you're definitely getting the expired stuff. It's turned into cough medicine at that point.
And then, of course, whatever you're brave enough to try buying off the locals that fell off the back of a truck somewhere.
Oh, yeah. Mr.
Yeah. Hey, Joe.
Hey, Joe. Mr. Hook up.
I was never brave enough to buy consumables that way. Like I'll try the DVDs, the knives, the souvenirs, but anything that I was putting in or on my body, I was like, maybe not.
I did buy a bottle of Jack Daniels. This is the only alcohol they really had over there, which is weird because it's like a Muslim country and, alcohol is haram, but they still had plenty of booze. And it was for one of my teammates' birthday. I was like, no, we haven't had booze in like 6 months. I'm going to do a little sneaky mission, little spec op stuff, little secret squirrel, go get my boy a bottle of booze. And we're going to go on the rooftop at our barracks and then throw our helmets on because people like to fire rockets at us. So we're going to enjoy this and a cigar.
That was a possibility, except one of the companies in our battalion, and I don't know if it was on purpose or truly was an accident, the official story was they were test firing their Mark 19s while intoxicated from hooch they purchased on the economy from the locals, violating General Rule 1 Alpha, and they accidentally blew up the talk. Test firing Mark 19. If you know anything about Mark 19s, I mean, that's just not how they work, but that was the official story. And so they just were really, really particular about searching our stuff after that for the battalion.
Oh, yeah. Because that's a round that isn't directed at one person. Your name's not on it. It's marked "To whom this may concern."
It's not quite like take out the whole grid square like, artillery people can do, but it's...
No, it's going to take out about 30-meter radius.
Right.
It's just a group party.
It's just a group party.
Yeah. It is.
Whereas the other one's more like a block party.
Exactly.
So, we couldn't get away with that. So I didn't get that brave. But anyway, we got off target. So, Gianna, this is the new year, and I'm wondering if we're going to get a new answer from the new you. So we are civilized human beings here at the Blasters and Blades podcast. We are no longer knuckle dragging troglodytes. So coffee or tea, and how do you take it in 2026?
Yeah, nothing is changing, man. I am still going to drink Diet Dr. Pepper forever and always. The only sad thing is that they either no longer make or at least are not shipping the Diet Dr. Pepper coconut, which is one of my favorite things. So currently we are experimenting with various coconut syrups to see, and including a homemade one and a couple of others, to see if we can find one that we like better since we don't have the mix and making our own mixes. So at least we're, there's some experimentation going on. It's fun, but no, I will remain a soda girl and then lots of water because water is good for me, blah, 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 blah.
So, some people put lemons weirdly in their Cokes. Do you do that?
Lime, coconut, Diet Dr. Pepper, and in a Coke, I like lemons.
See, I'm of an age, whenever I hear lime and coconut, I think of that Lion King.
Yes, you put the lime in the coconut and shake them all together.
We can't sing it because, if we get anywhere close to good enough, Disney comes after you. But, you know it, dear listener, and you're probably singing it in your head. So we're sorry. No, not really. We're not.
It's delicious and it's lovely and all those things. And it will continue to be my drink of choice going through the next year.
All right, Stabby.
Yeah.
What's in that cup for 2026?
Diet Coke and lime.
See? She's my girl. She's got me.
So me and Nick went down to the grocery store, and when you're standing in line and you're like, man, I am so thirsty, I'm just gonna grab one of the sodas out of the little machine right here. They had the 1980s styled Diet Coke and lime, and I was like, no way, I haven't seen one of these in forever. And so I grabbed it. I'm like, you know what? There's only 3 left. I'm going to buy all 3 of them. Good thing I did. They
Nice.
stopped selling them. So what did I do? I was like, honey, we're going to grab a 12 pack of Diet Coke. We're going to buy a couple limes and we're just going to put our own lime in our own Diet Cokes. So it
right.
is Diet Coke and lime. We all know that I've been losing weight and I'm going to continue trying to lose weight. I want to get healthier. We kind of skipped over Stabby for resolutions,
Well,
but
you
we
answered.
don't. I didn't.
I'm pretty
That's
sure
a
you
general
and Nick were saying you
conversation.
did. I thought you did. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I was just gonna throw it in here because I mean we're already talking Diet Coke, so we all know that I don't do resolutions because it's kind of like telling an ADHD person that they need to do something. It'll never get done because opposition to being told what to do. But the one thing that I'm definitely looking towards planning for is I definitely want to get my health more under control. So me and Nick have already been looking into a new doctor so we can have the tumors removed this year.
Good.
That
That
would
is
be
We're
the
nice.
gonna do it.
Do it. You can do it.
I'm super excited about it. I really am.
Nick.
Ooh, the coffee. Well, I've had to find some other alternatives because I can't have regular coffee. It spikes my blood pressure up too much. So, however, I did cheat a little bit. So I'll take some of the stuff that I got from the decaf stuff from Coffee Brand Coffee, and I'll mix it with some of the butterscotch. So it'll be 2 scoops of the decaf stuff, and I'll throw just 1 scoop of the butterscotch in there, and that's been pretty solid. So it's not enough caffeine to spike my blood sugar, or not my blood sugar, but my blood pressure, where I'm like the BP cuff is just doing all the bells and whistles, like, "Hey, you're about to die," and I'm like, "I feel fine." Shut up, machine.
Is it like fine where you've got the little dog in the house that's burning?
Yes, that kind of fine.
Yeah, but not as much fire. It's like maybe there's a couple of fires, like the whole room's not on fire. It's kind of like you get 1 cup, and I hope you enjoy it, because if you do another cup, I certainly will kill you.
So I've been doing, because I'm cutting calories, and I got it down to science. I used to spend I get the Tory is the brand of the creamer or the syrup that I use, and then I get the what's the word I'm looking for? I was getting it at the grocery store, and then I realized that I could get it cheaper if I ordered it from Torani. There we go. It's an Italian word. But I was getting it cheaper. I thought, oh man, it's actually $1 more if I get it from Sam's Club. That stinks. And then I looked and I'm like, oh crap, it's $1 more, but twice the size. So instead of 12.5, it's 25 ounces for $1 more. And so now I've ordered a batch of the French vanilla syrup, because I add 2 ounces of French vanilla syrup, 7 ounces of just 2% milk, and then my 20 ounces of coffee. And that's what I drink a day. And because I'm drinking so much more coffee, because now it's only 111 calories, I have been, once I go through the last of my K-cups, I am going back to a big boy coffee pot, which is one of the things I got for Christmas, which is an actual 4-cup coffee pot with a metal carafe. So I can't drop it, but it won't shatter because it's metal. I might dent it, but it won't break, I hope.
It won't break.
Well, the metal won't break. That's not to say the handle or other parts might not. But beggars can't be choosers. But yeah, so I'm transitioning away from the Keurig and back to a proper coffee pot. And I've got to find a solution to the other part of that, because when I would make like oatmeal, I use the Keurig because it tells you how many ounces of water it's running through it, to use the hot water to get hot water for like my oatmeal. So now I have an electric tea kettle that'll do it. But now I've got to like eyeball it to get the right measurements for the oatmeal now, instead of just using the Keurig, because once I put it away, I don't want to have to keep it plugged in and have 2 coffee pots running. That's just a little much.
Wait, so you got a new coffee pot for Christmas too? Did Santa bring you yours?
Sure.
No, I ordered one too, but how is 4 cups? That's all? I had to get the 14 cup because my 12 cup Mr. Coffee wasn't enough.
So I don't drink as much apparently as you because I'm like trying to count my calories, and I like enough cream in it that I just don't. But I also am trying to get my water up because that's part of my problem with the meds I'm on. I'm not drinking enough water. So they say you want to be airborne, you got to be thin, and I got about another 100 pounds to lose. So
That's not true anymore.
What? You don't got to be thin no more?
Seen some of the guys from the 82nd.
Unmute yourself.
Well, I want to.
Most of the 82nd aren't thin anymore, is what I'm saying.
I'm just saying, like, I'm still a dirty, nasty leg, and I'll always be one, and I'm cool with that. But I do want to be a healthy, dirty, nasty leg. So, and all I'm going to say is leg lives matter, and what are the dirty, rotten lawn darts and airborne types when they hit the ground? They're grunts just like me. So, suck it.
It's just how we get there. Our delivery system's cooler.
Yeah, but I get to play with strikers, so there. All right, we're going to pause for a moment while we shamelessly shill for the woman this time. You might have heard of this person. Boom!
The necromantic magic of the Great Lich has held sway over the world for 100 years. Can a young knight of the god of death and the last priestess of the goddess of life destroy him before their homeland falls? The only survivor of his convoy, journeyman knight Darian, is entrusted with an ancient scroll and one mission. Return the scroll to the High Temple in Hothan, no matter the cost. He never expected that journey to include stumbling onto the last healer in the world. Now he must take not only the scroll but the woman across the kingdom to safety, each step dogged by the relentless undead. Death's Knight, Book 1 in the completed War of the Lich series by Matthew T. Summers and Jenna Ray.
All right.
Hey, I know those books.
He's like, Katie, speaking video game.
What's that, Jenna?
I know those
You
books.
might have heard of them. All right. Thank you
That's
for
fun.
sticking with us through that commercial interlude. And now let's talk about season 6. So first off, we've made it through 5 seasons as the Blasters and Blades, plus the other 3, for me at least, as the Sci-Fi Shenanigans. So this is going to be episode 684. And I have 200 and something on top of this as Sci-Fi Shenanigans. So we've been doing this for a hot minute, and we're having fun.
If you were a sitcom, we'd be getting a Grammy for like longest running whatever.
Yeah. But so, we're glad you stuck with us. If you've been here from the beginning, we certainly appreciate you. If you found us along the way, you're our friends too. We'll ride or die with all of you. But one of the things we've talked about is kind of what we wanted to do. So Jenna was nice enough to use her handy dandy computer skills. It is now linked in our link tree in a how to be a guest link. So we've said this before and we mean it. You do not have to be an author, a comic book artist, a narrator, a script writer, or any other form of creative to come on as a guest when we do movie reviews and get nerdy about it.
You can just be a dude or dudette, man.
And you can just get nerdy with us. You don't have to be anything other than a super fan of super cool things. And as part of that, our link tree will now link permanently to the sign up thing. And once I figure out how to get it the right way, we will also link to the Excel document where we keep our calendar, which is open to the public, so you can see what we've got coming up. And if any of those topics appeal to you, you can reach out to me. And if there's room, I'll happily throw you on board for any of those topics. We do movie reviews, book reviews, panel topics. Obviously, if you're not an author, you can't do an author book review, book interview, but everything else is open. And so
if you want to talk comics, I would love that.
Absolutely. And if you want to do a comic book review with us, or anything else that we haven't thought of that you want to send our way, we're happy to do that. But so, this isn't just for us. This is for you, dear listener, as well. We appreciate it. We have not forgotten that your generosity pays for this year after year. Every time I worry how I'm going to pay for StreamYards and the other programs that run this podcast, someone comes through in a clinch and covers it year after year. And even if we only break even, it's money not out of my pocket. So I'm happy. And so with that out of the way, yeah, simple pleasures. I have fun. This is my my adult time. This is my sanity safe space. Well, maybe not sanity, but it's my safe space. But so what do you guys hope to get out of season 6?
Well, we've been listing up a whole bunch of movies, and I do love the retro movie reviews. It's so much fun to talk nerdy with people over movies that I love, and even more recent ones. We do love the retro ones, but it often leads us down the rabbit hole to, oh, and we should talk about this and that and the other things. So I'm excited to see what movies we can cover. People think of things that I never considered, and it's like, oh, now I have to go watch the movie again.
Yeah, the retro ones are fun, but any of the nostalgia panels or topics are always fun. Nick and
That's
I
true.
with his friend Matt, I think I can't remember his last name.
Matt. Pass on.
Yeah, he and I, the three of us, did a 80s cartoon panel, and that was very well received. And we've talked about coming back and doing the 90s and the early aughts as far as cartoons. But anything we do that's nostalgia gets a really high review because people like, revisiting. And some of the stuff they're putting out now is just, I don't want to yuck someone else's yum, but it doesn't raise to the standard of what I had as a kid in my own humble or not so humble estimation. I can't imagine them making something like Blazing Saddles today.
Yeah,
Oh,
there
no.
are things that they did when we were kids that would not be allowed anymore.
And one of the movies, for instance, for the retro movie review is The Goonies, which I've watched with my kids. And I remember them looking and they're like, Dad, where are the parents? And I'm like, they're not there. Ain't it grand?
Yeah.
These are
And then,
Gen
of course-
X kids. Are you kidding? What are parents?
Right. We're like, they literally had to make a commercial to tell our parents, hey, do you know where your kids are? It's 10 at night.
They treated us like a burden, man. We were an afterthought.
Right. We
It
were
was
feral.
awesome. We were the last of the feral children. I've said that in multiple episodes when people want to talk about Gen X and growing up in the 80s.
We've talked about with, I want to say it was Mary Mancusi was the episode, but we've come up with it in others too.
Oh,
where
she was fun.
She was, but we've talked about like passing on our generational trauma with the series that wrecked us as kids. The Never-Ending Story,
Dark Crystal,
Bridge to Terabithia, Old Yeller, some of the others.
Where the Red Fern Grows.
Oh yeah.
Secret
Whole
of
school
Nim.
class of people crying. Yeah.
But we've talked about revisiting those.
You're
classes.
crying.
Yeah, I'm cutting onions. but we've talked about like panels of that. But I think I want to do author interviews because I like spotlighting authors. I like spotlighting new authors who might not have heard of. It's always fun to hear like we were their first interview. So I don't mind doing that. I want to keep doing that. I like spotlighting new or small publishing presses, publishing houses. Everyone knows about Tor and Random House and Penguin. Or is Random House and Penguin the same thing now?
Yeah, Penguin Random House. I think they're merged now, and if they're not, they're awful close.
But obviously there's a lot of smaller independent presses out there, and so we like doing those, small press radio hour, I call them. It's more of a nod to before we did the format we do now. We used to call the panels the fireside chats. Because I'm a history nerd and we had a president that did fireside chats.
Yep.
Now every episode is that, and it would get a little cumbersome to put that in front of every episode. But that it's stuck.
Now they're just chats.
Yeah, it's stuck with the small press radio hour. So we like doing those and highlighting, authors you might not have heard of, discussing genres in ways we might not have.
So the legacy authors have been cool too, because that's been some behind the scenes stuff of, how they got in at all of those Bane authors that we've had a chance to talk to. And I hope that they let us chat with some more of them. Because like, this is Harry Turtledove. And we're going to keep JR from fanboying too awful hard, but that's okay.
It's hard.
The tables flip as we get some of these other ones to go, yeah, these are people I've been reading for 30 years, and how did they get into it, and how is that different than what we do now? And so it's kind of fun to get both sides of that, to get the debuts who are getting into it now versus how it worked back then. So
and one of the things we are going to be doing a little different for all of our movie reviews, when we do the rating, we're going to add that to part of the reviews the minute we start talking about the movie, before we air the commercial or talk about it, when I read the script where it's, directed by the name of the movie, directed by blah, 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 we're going to start with the rating. And if it's a rating you're not comfortable with us discussing in front of your family who might be listening, that's a good place for you to say, hey, maybe I need to pause this and let the kids leave or whatever. And I realized that when we filmed Violent Night, which aired right before Christmas, that holy crap, if we didn't warn people, their kids might have walked in on a very unfortunate movie trailer.
Yeah, but still, at the same time,
with a name like Violent Night, maybe they might have had a warning.
That was my point exactly. Violent Night probably tells you that it's probably gonna be a violent Christmas movie.
Yeah, but I'm just it definitely pointed out a room where we could improve. Because one of the things we started doing when Jana brought on the Book Cave people is, like, we do have families that I know that send me things that try to listen where it's the episodes are appropriate together, and so like they like to know, is this like what books are appropriate for what
for ages, and
so
we talk about that a lot more.
Yeah, so we're going to try to incorporate that to empower. I don't really like the idea of trigger warnings. I think that's kind of like, I think people are tough enough to decide on their own what they want to read.
Trigger warnings? You mean the menu?
Okay, we're going to keep this family friendly, remember. But I do like the idea of empowering the audience to decide what they want. And so like ratings and that kind of thing I think is appropriate. So we'll ask the authors that every time now. We're going to do it when we do the book reviews and the movie reviews.
We used to do that. We used to ask the authors, like, what age range is it for? Is it like young adult, 13 plus?
Well, we didn't do it consistently because it only happened in as much as one of us remembered. Now we do it every time because I feel like when I found out, and I've known for a while, but when I started thinking about that families listen, like I started thinking, well, we kind of have an obligation as people making content, knowing families are listening, to consider that, mostly because I got some angry emails from moms, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's kind of a good point. It's fair.
And it's just generally a good thing to know, because there are people out there that go. I was watching a reel today about a mom who picked something up and did not go further than, hey, cool looking cover, found it in the young adult fantasy area. That should be fine for my 12-year-old. And it was not fine for her 12-year-old. And some of that's on the mom, because she really should be doing more research. But also, if that's something as a podcast that we can help to do, to point out and say, hey, this is going to be great for your 12-year-old, but this one is maybe one you should wait until they're a little bit older. You know your kid, because that's the thing. We always trust the parents to know their kid. But also, let's give you just some general guidelines of what's there, and then you decide if that's appropriate for your kid or for yourself. Because I picked up a few books that I'm like, oh, well, that was not anticipated. Alrighty then.
And so that's the other thing is I'm gonna do a better job, and I'm gonna browbeat Nick as well, because we're the problems here. We're gonna do a better job of when we're interviewing authors whose target demographic is on the more impressionable side. Maybe we will try to ungrunt our language so that way their target demographic can listen to their interview.
I'll try.
Or you can sit those ones out. That's cool too. We won't be offended. Whatever works for you, Nick.
No, I can do that, because I don't want my offensive grunt language, my grunties, as if you will, get in the way of a younger person diving into a world that we're talking to about. Because I don't want to deny anybody that, because the people that we talk to have created some awesome worlds, awesome stories, awesome characters, and I want them to experience that. Just because I speak Gwentese doesn't mean that.
It hasn't been a problem. The episodes where it's come up and it's made me realize it, you wouldn't have been able to be there anyway, just because the higher operational tempo post recent election with your job with Border Patrol. And so like this last year has just been crazy for you in general. I've listened to you. I think you are working more hours than are physically in a week. I don't know how they manage this, but they've managed. It's like some sort of time vortex that they've somehow worked.
It's about 75 hours a week, what I've been averaging since the new administration came in.
And so it's not like it's been an issue, but it's more like I'm trying to be respectful, because if I wrote stuff for 12-year-olds, I might want the interview I did about my book to be able to be listened to by said 12-year-olds.
Oh, absolutely.
And so
we want them to be able to share to their target audience without there being a concern.
And again, this
and
came
their friends.
Yeah, and it came up when we interviewed Mary because she writes for Disney as well for some of their kids' property, and she mentioned, just as a warning, we have the, what did she call it, the morality clause that they have to do.
Morality
And she wrote
clauses.
stuff in the Elsa universe and some of the others. I can't remember all of it, but that got me thinking, like, because we've interviewed some people that wrote harem stuff. We've interviewed some people that wrote, more steamy romance novels. And I have absolutely no problem doing that. I just feel like if we're going to do those interviews, we maybe owe it to people to disclose upfront before the interview starts. So, because there are people that when those books don't appeal to them, they'll bow out after the introduction where we nerd out on things together. And then when we start discussing the book, they'll bow out. They listen to the first part with just us and the guests, talking cool, nerdy stuff. And I want to give them the chance to make those decisions for themselves.
Oh, absolutely.
So
something I think we do need more of this year is there are a number of speculative, adjacent, or fully on speculative games out there, and we don't get a lot of gamers on. So it would be fun to find more gamers and talk about some of the video games, some of the role-playing games. We've kind of hit them briefly, but we haven't done too deep into any particular episode that is, hey, let's talk about Halo. Let's talk about some of these other games that very much have a speculative, speculative leaning.
We did Halo. We did Fallout. Melissa's husband, McShane, the War Mistress herself, his husband sat on that one. He got nerdy with me. That was fun. We kicked her off, and we just, we had the nerdy session. He's like, "No, I got this, honey." But
didn't we do an episode of The Last of Us?
We did
the TV show, but
we did the TV
we talked
show.
about the game. It was kind of like a hybrid.
But the issue is if you're talking about getting the actual game devs and the role-playing game devs, those people never answer emails, no matter how many times you reach out.
Games.
Yeah, well, but even just gamers, because there are a lot of new systems out there, and it would be fun to talk to people who are playing. What is the name of the ones that? Anyway, there's a bunch of new systems. There's always interesting things going on. I mean, just D&D in general and all of the tabletop gaming that way has made such a huge resurgence because it was hot in the 80s, but we were always kind of the nerds in the back room and that kind of thing. And now they have cruises where you go on the cruise intending that the entire time you're there, you're going to go to different tables and you're going to play tabletop role-playing games. And that's fantastic. And they've done
disgusting. Where?
I can send it to you. Dex is doing it. But they've broken Guinness World Records here in Utah for number of people all playing D&D at the same time. So it's having really this huge resurgence, and you can get cool swag and all that kind of thing. And that's not, again, we kind of dabble with the gaming stuff, but we haven't had as many. We've had a few, but we haven't had as many episodes for the gamers among us.
That's true. And we could talk about things like Elder Ring and Diablo,
Baldur's
which is
Gate.
nothing more than Baldur's
Cyberpunk.
Gate. Those are all D&D type games. They're just now in you're not rolling dice. You're not rolling for initiative or charisma or anything like that. You're playing a character, but those same stats apply that you build up through the game. And we should totally do that. So if you're listening to this
Legend
episode,
of Zelda.
Legend of Zelda. Yeah. Let's do this. I'm down for a gaming episode.
Well, we've tried to organize them.
I Pokemon Go, and I've been doing it for so many years. It's like that's one of the ways I get my steps is going around looking for the dumb critters.
Well, we've tried to organize them. It's not for lack of trying. So if you guys are listening and you're into that kind of stuff, or you know someone who is, we're perfectly willing to schedule it. Some of these, it's just harder to get the guests than others, and that is the the hard part about panels as opposed to just a singular author is getting the guests lined up.
So if we want to get people to start coming in for D&D panels and such like that, then why don't we start off with a show review and chat, like fireside chat of Stranger Things?
Yep, that's a good one.
That's a TV show, right?
It's a TV show on Netflix. It showed the last season, the very, very last season dropped on Christmas Day. So like you could watch all 5 seasons, or we could do, one episode on the first season, one episode on the second season. And because all these kids, their whole lives from the time they're about 5 years old revolves around D&D. And all of the monsters that they deal with in their life are all named after D&D monsters. Demogorgons. Yeah.
Mind flayer.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Well, like I said, it's definitely something I am willing to schedule. It's just been difficult to get people. We've had some episodes that had to cancel for lack of people signing up, because that's not a topic I could run myself, talking to myself. So but we're definitely willing. I'd like to do more of that. I'd like to talk to more narrators because it's fun to see how they got into it, how they create the voices. Some of the things, like I heard one lady on a different podcast who I tried to reach, but then she went radio silent, talk about she thought somebody was a throwaway character, so she gave it this really weird, funny voice, and then they came back in book 5 and it's the main protagonist, and now she's stuck with that voice through an entire novel. She's like, if you had told me, I would have picked something easier. But that's the kind of fun stuff that it's like kind of part diving behind the curtains, and it's part talking to people on the creative side. And so I'm here for it. I think that could be a lot of fun to do more of those. I want to do more panels, more movie reviews. I'd like to do some book reviews, but sometimes those are a little bit harder because more of a time commitment.
Well, yeah, you gotta read the book.
You gotta read the book.
Yeah, and it's just life's busy for all of us. So anyway, so what else would you like to see on this season?
Well, the thing is, I don't know that we need to put all of our brainstorming on air because we've been talking for about an hour. But I think the heart of it is getting really, really great guests and being able to nerd out over the things that we love and the things that they love. And so what we have to ask the listeners is, what else do you want to see us nerd out over? What have we missed? Because JR has enough content for us to do this for another 600, 800 episodes. I've seen the list, and it is immense and immortal. But we'd really love to be able to make the podcast what you as the listeners want to hear, the kind of thing you're going to share with your friends, because I think one of our biggest goals for season 6, for every season, is we want to grow. We want to bring in more of your friends and more of your family and more people who want to come and listen to whatever it is that we got to share. So, get in the comments and tell us, what is it that you want us to talk about?
One of the things I would like to see for season 6 is I want to see some of the knitting actually finished.
Oh, no, there's lots of it that's done. It is done, gifted, gone. This is now a baby blanket. There's been 3 wedding blankets, 2 baby blankets just since I've been a co-host.
So you link to yourself on the link tree now, because it is season 6. We did add that. Are any of your social medias, are you linking to pictures of the finished product so we can all go peep at it?
Oh,
No
I could do
spoilers,
that.
darling.
I could totally do that. I've got a couple of dragon quilts that I'm making for the Superstars writing seminar, and I can show you pictures of those too, because they're turning out really, really pretty. So I will create a page off of my Opal Kingdom Press page that is, so you can see the stuff that I'm working on online and see that it actually gets finished. It gets gifted, and I have, my grandson all wrapped up in his own blankie the other day. It was about the cutest thing ever.
You were not old enough to be a grandmother. It was nice of you to adopt.
Okay, yeah, whatever. I'm the oldest one here, man.
All right.
Cheers.
So we look forward to a long season 6 and another 6 on top of it, because we're gonna drink the immortal juice and keep on going. But remember, Nick,
in January, you get me the whole month of January.
there could be only one.
That's right.
We did get an upcoming guest, a friend of Hunter's, who writes kids' books about a rabbit. So that'll be interesting coming up.
I'm in.
We've had her on before about one of the, I think, the YA panel.
Oh, is it Ursula?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
she was in Warhamster.
Was
She's
she?
got one of our stories in Warhamster. Yeah.
That was the episode she was on. Okay. That'll be interesting. And speaking of the Warhamster, we had such a good reception on it that we will be announcing at some point Warhamster Necro Hamster. We've got to figure out the branding for it, but somebody sent us a meme of a necromancer hamster that we're going to turn into an anthology because you asked for it and it's your fault. And you're actually buying the Warhamster one, so it's at least earned back what we spent on it. And that one will not be just the co-hosts and frequent guests. We'll open that one open call to everyone, so should be fun. The hardest part for me was keeping it PG because Jana was mean and made me take out my cuss words.
I'm not mean. I understand our target audience, and I want us to sell more books. I'm a marketer.
That too, but you cheated and you went to my mom and you gave me the look, and
Hey, it is never cheating to call your mother. She's a sweetheart.
She uses the secret weapon. She's got that disappointed parent look down pat, and she just like, really?
You keep telling me I'm too young to be a grandparent, and then you say I've got the look. How do you think I get the look? You raise kids, you raise grandkids, you get the look.
All right. So with that, Jana, what are you thinking you're going to get out in season 6 for 2026? You going to be hopping around your pen names? You're going to focus on any one thing?
Oh, there's a lot on the docket for 2026. I intend to put out 4 Opal Kingdom Press anthologies. So if you want to go to opalkingdompress.com or my link tree, which I'm now told is a part of the Blasters and Blade link tree. It
is. I checked.
You can follow that to get to the open calls. So there'll be 4 of those going out. I've got to get my Diana books off the ground. So I want a minimum of 1, probably 2 of those. The pen name has a couple of romances coming out. The other pen name has some more writing books coming out, and the other pen names, well, they have stuff coming out. We'll leave it at that.
Okay, so I know as the authors who have been in some of your anthologies, you have a newsletter that you say, hey, when there's new anthology open calls, we'll send you, an update so you know to submit. Are you going to be doing some sort of newsletter for either the anthology or the publishing house for people that want to know when Opal Kingdom's putting something new out, or do they have to follow the individual authors?
Yes, the web page is getting an overhaul come January, and so then there will be some different newsletter options there. One's for authors who want to know when the open calls are coming, one for readers who want to know when the next anthologies are released, also one for ARC readers if you want to become an ARC reader for Opal Kingdom Press, so you get the stuff early and you get the books for free. We ask pretty please that you review them. There'll be one for that too. So there are updates coming because I've got to put some hours in and make my website pretty and shiny again.
All right, Stabby, how's your Mafia romance coming?
It's coming along. Fun fact, if you're new to the show, I'm dyslexic with ADHD. So writing this book is going to take me longer than someone like, say, Jana. I definitely have to go back and reread my chapters over and over to make sure that it sounds normal because I've gone back to a couple chapters and I'm like, what was I trying to say there? That doesn't even make sense. But other than that, it's doing really good. I'm having such a good time writing this book. Somebody smart that I know that may be sitting behind me once told me that if you're going to write a book, write the book that you want to read. And that's exactly what I'm doing. That's what started the whole thing, is I was getting really irritated with how people wrote mafia books. Coming from an Italian family, I was like, that's not how it works. So
not enough recipes.
I definitely was like, okay, it's time to write the book that I would want to read. So we'll see how it comes out. I already have a few of our usual suspects willing to beta read for me as I go and make sure that I don't sound like a complete Looney Tune. So that definitely helps. Other than that, like, just living the life, living the dream.
All right. And while Jana is linked in our link tree and in the show notes, Stabby is not yet, but once she has her professional persona out there and solidified, we will start adding it to the show notes and the link tree. But until then, you just get to look at her pretty face here. And she is linked in the show notes on the link tree as Madam Stabby Stab for her Instagram, Twitter, and her email if you just want to harass her or, trade horror movie thoughts and such. You could have a horror nerd pen pal thing going on. So, Nick, what about you? What are you working on? And then obviously, how can we find you?
Oh, man. Okay, first of all, what am I working on? Things, I had to take kind of like I'm working on some comic books. I'm doing some drawing. We have an anthology book that should be coming out this year. The working title is Lore. We think that title needs to be something better. But I'm doing some artwork for that on a story that was written by Matthew Hasso for the character that was inspired by Stabby, which is the Regent. Well, if I talk anymore, it's going to be spoiler territory. We're going to be releasing Phantom Hawk Resolute 3, issue 3. It's a 4-issue story arc, and then we're also doing, what else are we doing? Quickwire 2, Bengali 6. Like, we got a lot of stuff coming out in 2026, just like we do every year. This is our year. We're going to do it. We're also in publication. We have distribution to your local comic book shop. So if you don't see our books in your local comic book shop, go ask your shopkeeper why Apogee books are not on your shelves. So that's what we're working on right now, and it's a lot of that is just about done. Yeah, and then where you can find me. I made it very simple for everybody to find me. It's Nick Garber Art if you want to find me personally, and that's on all the socials. If you just put @Nick Garber Art, you'll find me. And then if you want to find the company, you want to find Apogee, it's @Apogee Comics on all the socials. Like I said, try to make it simple. You can also follow the link tree that's going to be listed with the episode, and you should be able to find everything. You should be able to find us. And I really want to talk about gaming and comic books for season 6. So if you're a gamer and or a comic book fan, I would love to have a conversation with you as the resident comic book aficionado. So
real quick, we got to keep this short because Stabby and Jana have told us that we were running long. But is a anthology in the comic book world the same thing as an anthology in like literary world? Because you've written short stories.
Absolutely. It's going to be 8 to 10 pages inside a comic book of different stories. So it's going to be probably anywhere between 32 and 62 pages of comic book stuff, of pages. The anthology is the same classification as in the literary world. It's going to be a series of different stories that are contained within the Apogee universe that give you a little bit more insight, a little bit more detail in some of these heroes, because not every hero deserves their own comic. It's a way to test the waters on popularity. So, like we know the characters that we have are popular: Bengali, Quickwire, Phantom Hawk. These are our biggest sellers. So we want to tell some of these side stories. We want to tell some of these other characters that we're introducing into this bigger world, and we're doing that through the anthology framework. So you're going to get 8 pages of Regent. You're going to get 10 pages of Slayer and Prime. You're going to get another couple of pages of another character named Crown. That all kind of tie in and kind of like just pull the sweater together as you would of all these stories that we got going on in the Apogee universe before we get to the big crossover, which is going to bring, a lot of characters.
You'll have to buy and find out. We'll do a special episode about that. All right.
Yeah, do.
And I am going to be working on several things this year. My productivity has not been great with the head injury. Sometimes just brain fog is brain fog. I do the best I can. That means I am not the fastest author out there. So unfortunately, I'm not the write a book a week crowd. That's just never going to be me. So I just have to make everything I write the best it can be. I will have some stuff already previously published, some of it, years ago, in various anthologies that'll be coming out. That I look forward to, including Keith Hedger, who's a frequent guest on the show, is creating his own imprint. We were recently discussing potential names for it. who's going to be doing two, one about butter bars and one about, E4 shenanigans. He's got short stories for those. And so should be fun. I've got one coming out. I just signed a contract for with Fey Wars as in their anthology with Canon Publishing, which was kind of fun. That was the story that was too dark for Jana. She just was like, have you talked to your therapist, JR? Like, maybe do we need to call somebody?
Branding.
But she also was like, JR, do you need to talk to somebody? Do you need a hug?
You were angry. There was definitely some stuff going on there, man.
But yeah, so hopefully I'll have some stuff coming out. Unfortunately, when you're with some publishers, there's a delay between when you finish and when it gets out, and there's just, because I am slow, I am patient when they are too. Just the way of the business. And as usual, my links will be in the show notes. I will eventually.
You missed one. I left it open for you so you could talk about it, and you're not talking about it. I did that on purpose, man. What are we writing?
Oh, the reboot stuff. Yeah, we are working on that one. It is fun. It is weird writing about a Cav guy, because generally I just make fun of them. But we've got writing about a Cav officer in a fantasy world. It's a Portal fantasy. We've talked about it before.
Fun of him too.
We make fun of him too. But we are writing a Portal fantasy. It's a lot of fun. It got sidelined because one of the reasons I'm co-writing with Jenna is because I can handle the military stuff. I got all of that down pat. I can write combat. I just, channel my demons. I don't have the in-depth gaming experience to write the game lit side of things. Most of my gaming experience until recently was like our video game style, where the mechanics are there. Like you play Skyrim, Fallout, like the TTRPG mechanics are there. They just happen behind the scenes and you don't see the math. And so if you've never, like, if you don't have intensive experience on a tabletop, it's sometimes hard to make that work where you're actually showing the reader what that looks like. And so it started with, she was just going to be an advisor and get titular credit for it. And then she was like, well, if I'm putting my name on it, I'm getting a say. And then because November and December are baking months, we had a little bit of a snag, but January is hit the ground running. And then she's also running because, she ate all the fudge she made. And she doesn't want to end up like that lady, Veronica Salt, and Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory. So
I'm sleepy from the peanut brittle that she sent me that I just constantly cannot stop eating.
It's good stuff.
Good stuff.
But
anyway,
yes, we will get back on track just as soon as we get to January.
And so I had I realized with the Wargate stuff that I haven't forgotten about it. I was too emotionally invested because of my relationship with James. And so I ended up hiring a developmental editor to go over what I had, the notes he had, the notes I had, what was written, what was outlined. And now I have a viable outline for it. And so now it's more of a plug and play, write the scenes, make it work. And so I think we've got that laid out. And so I'm going to work on getting back into that as well. Because I feel like I owe it to his family to get that out there and get that earning money for them as well. So that is my 2026. Working on the stuff with Jana and then working on the stuff for posterity. So with that, this is the part where we remind you, dear listener, to please be kind and speak your mind on the reviewing platforms. Your reviews help the right readers find the right books. It really does make a difference. So do your part, people. It really does help. And if you're reviewing comic books, there is no exact spot where you can go like a Goodreads, but you can start your own website. And if you do start your own website and review comics, reach out to Nick through Apogee Comics or through Nick Garber. Links are in the show notes. And if you start reviewing comics, I guarantee you he will know people to show and spread the word. And you'll become the most popular indie comics fan around because they need people doing stuff. And so if you're already a fan, you'll be inundated with people sending you PDFs and asking you to do reviews. So
myself included.
There's room in the market right now. And so I will say, as someone who writes reviews for Upstream when I have time, when you start doing reviews, if you write them well, people will come out of the woodwork giving you free stuff if you'll write reviews for them. And at that point in time, it becomes an issue of, am I interested in learning to say no? Because the trick is you want to say yes to everything. And you can't say yes to everything because you have to have time to do your own stuff. So with that, You can find us on our Linktree, linktr.ee, Linktree/Blasters and Blades Podcast. Again, Linktree/Blasters and Blades Podcast, where we link to all the things from the podcast, our BitChute, Rumble, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Spotify, and our Discord. You can find us on our Facebook and Facebook group and Facebook page. You can email us at blastersandbladespodcast@gmail.com. Again, blastersandbladespodcast@gmail.com. You can reach out to Madam Stabby Stab over there on the Instagram, the Twitter, and the email. You can follow Jenna or Nick or Apogee Comics on our Linktree as well. You can support the show by going to buymeacoffee.com/author J.R. Handley. Again, buymeacoffee.com/author J.R. Handley. Be sure to put in the comment section that it's for the podcast, and I promise I will keep my co-hosts duly caffeinated. I promise I will keep them high on their own supply. They will drink that coffee brand coffee till they float away on a river of caffeinated goodness. If you want some of that coffee brand coffee, the link is in the show notes. It's currently podcast grunts. You get 10% off. We get a little bit of a kickback. It's a win-win, people. And with that, I would like to thank you for spending some of your precious time with us. For my crazy co-host, I am J.R. Handley, and this was the Blasters and Blades Podcast. We'll be back next week at the same time, where we'll indulge our love of nerd culture, cheesy jokes, and all things that go boom. And with that, would you believe, Nick, Stabby, that someone had the audacity to say I was not the sane one on this podcast?
What?
I know.
I mean,
that angry mom
hard.
said I was the crazy one. Rude. And with that, we're going to hit the end button. I know. I was shocked. Shocked, I say. Not really, but shocked.